hurdle right now. And so that is why traffic has come to a standstill. And Jeff, as we've been talking about, I mean, you have to do this as a precaution. You don't know where these animals are going to go. As we've seen, we've seen them get off the freeway, hop back on, and so you want to make sure ultimately that these cows are able to get back to wherever they came from, their owner, safely, and that is what we're hoping for this afternoon.
Having grown up in a rural area, if a cow gets out and you don't know and you're driving down the highway at highway speeds, that can be a fatal accident without. You're not looking for it, you're not prepared for it.
Yeah.
Certainly not. You wouldn't think that something like that would be roaming around the interstate here in busy, one of the fourth largest city in America. So people wouldn't be paying attention to that, or wouldn't be looking out for that. And with these animals that are very quick, they're very agile, and they can jump and go and get out in front of a car in a moment's notice.
And Jeff, I do want to ask you about that. For me, I'm native Floridian, so cows are a little anxious. What does
I don't know if they caught the cows or not. Here's a clip of the video earlier. Check this out. I'm already live. Look at the cows. Look at the cows. Go, baby. Go, cow. Go, cow. Go, cow. Go. 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 Go, ninja. Go, ninja. Go. Go. Look at this guy running. Look, what's he going to do? He's going to stop him? He's going to jump on him? What's he going to do? They're gone, hauling ass. Let's go, baby.
Daddy, I like when you scrambling and scraping for shit.
I like that. Scrambling, scraping, run! Oh, this guy, brave man, jumps out and ends up getting impaled. Cows are on the loose, and what you gonna do? Amazing. So I don't know if they got them all corralled
These things
up.
are very powerful. This cow probably, I'm going to guess 400 or 500 pounds, maybe more. It's going to go where it wants to go. Now, if it's calmed down enough and trusting enough of the people around it, maybe it will just follow. And if it's accustomed to that kind of thing, because like the cows at the rodeo, they're accustomed to having something touching them. They've got a rope on. They follow them around. Most cows aren't like that. The 99.9% of the cows in this country don't follow you around on a leash. That just doesn't happen that way. No, they won't. So
I'm just walking my cow today. Taking my cow for a walk.
At the animal. Or just sort of soothing it, calming it. It's going to be fine. And what I would do, if you could, and it's, with the traffic nightmare, it's even worse. You got to get a vehicle, a trailer, and back it up to where that entrance is, and let it walk into it and close the door behind it. That's how you would do that, But these gentlemen may be able to. Maybe this cow's in a situation where they don't need to go through all that. But at some point, they got to get this thing off the freeway, right? And then getting it into a trailer is the way to go. The question I have, though, is how did they get out of the trailer? Was it a minor accident? I've seen things in the past.
Trump did it. It's Trump's fault.
The country where the ball joint comes loose from the back of the trailer and from the back bumper of the truck, and then the trailer sort of drifts off, and then
that's a cow. Look, it's a cow.
Going to hit, the door opens, and then they're out. They're off and running, and it's sort of a very traumatic situation for the animal. They think about it. They've been in a traffic accident. People in a traffic accident work, in odd ways.
For the cow, then when they have it sort of impact, is it just I'm jumping off?
That's just go.
Okay.
Fight or flight. Just go. And so but this one, hey, they've done a great job. They've done a great job. It's under control. So this guy's got the rope, and he's got his hand there on the barricade. These other officers are coming in. Let's see. Hopefully they don't spook it or anything like that. And if they don't, then that's one down and two more to go. Right? Keep in mind, this is an ongoing situation. There are two others. One
somebody help!
Last saw in a field, and the other on the side of the road.
Okay, I think Doug may have some new information as well. Let's go back to our assignment desk. Doug, what can you tell us?
So just trying to get a handle of what we're seeing here. We have the one cow that we saw off in the field that was west of the water treatment plant, and then our pilot John Wallen spotting the other cow that was headed up the North Freeway northbound, running just north of the Hardy Toll Road interchange there. And then now this appears to be a third cow that we got Sky's video showing us right now of this one that is now captured in basically the gore point, if you will, or the gap between the two retainer walls for the feeder road and the freeway there on on Highway 45 at the Hardy Toll Road exchange. So northbound traffic, if we take a look at
breaking
the
news,
there, if we can look at that for just
breaking
a brief
news,
second.
breaking news,
the shot
breaking
way
news
back at Louetta. So traffic is backed up all the way to Louetta.
Cows on the loose
on TransStar, as we're seeing northbound traffic at a full stop at this moment, waiting to get some, waiting to get all the officials in there from the livestock division, get a trailer in place, and be able to do that.
Let me pause just for a second. Let's go back up to Tammy and Sky, because this is sort of at a really critical point where that cow is being corralled. I remember Brandon, I said you got to back up a trailer. So the problem with that is the cow won't necessarily know, okay, I got to go right. And it might get spooked at the point where the trailer connects to the concrete barrier.
My heart just
breaks.
breaks.
It's not really tight connection there. There's enough of a gap that the cow might think it can jump through that. So it would be interesting if Tammy can, when we cycle back through there, to see if this is a smooth transition, and it might be. It might be a very smooth transition. It might be no problem whatsoever. But that's sort of the tricky spot now. I've seen cows where you try to get them into a trailer and they go right up to the trailer, they put their head in the trailer, and then they don't go in the trailer. But it looks like this one might have gone in. Yeah, the door's closed.
Yeah, and
looks
so
like it's gone in.
What was happening exactly, Jeff, as you mentioned, so if you did not see it, so we saw the trailer come to that little entrance,
the gap there.
The gap where there was an opening, and then the officers already had the cow corralled, slowly walking, and that slow walk, I'm assuming, just to keep it calm.
That's right. Keep it calm. Keep it moving along. But
Make it easy.
if it wanted to stop, let it stop. Let it kind of
cool, collected,
get oriented as what it's doing. But it looks to me like the trailer door is shut now. I don't know if Tammy can zoom in or not. If the trailer door is shut, that means the cow's in it, and that one problem now has been solved, and we can move on to problem 2 and 3.
Yeah, and as Doug mentioned, so we do believe, at least by our count, that was 3. So now 2 still unaccounted for.
Tammy, if you could pan over to the left a little bit to go back to where that trailer is, and right there, zoom in, right there where that gap is, just zoom right on in there, and where that's where the cow and the trailer.
Yeah, it's close.
So it looks like they're no longer standing around looking. So that cow, in my opinion, is probably safely inside that trailer right now, and that's exactly what they needed to do. They needed to. You see how they made it sort of like there's only one option for the cow: go into the trailer, no other choices. And as they're slowly walking it in, if he's pulling away, he's got that cow. So that's one down.
Yeah, unfortunately, Pilot John Wall and I have to, maneuver around.
Yes,
I don't know if you saw the police helicopters up here with us, so we weren't able to get the cow getting into the trailer. But you know what? Great news. 1 down. Hopefully 2 more to go, and there's not any more. But yeah, we have spotted 2 more. One of them just north of here, running northbound on 45. We did not see them get that cow, into custody, so to speak. And then of course there's another one. There is another one that is in the wooded area just west of here. So at least one of them is back in the trailer, so that is good news.
One is back in.
To get off the freeway, and
he's going to that second cow that's on the. Yeah, I bet you he's going to that where that second cow is on the freeway. Do you want to, Brandon?
Yeah, let's go real quick. Doug Schertz is still in our newsroom at the assignment desk. Doug, what else can you tell us?
Yeah, I was just going to jump in that we were seeing that is indeed Harris County livestock officers, Harris County Sheriff's vehicle there with the trailer, part of the livestock division that was able to back into that gore point there in between the 2 gaps in the wall, and as you said, take that cow and get it back onto the trailer, and now moving into the position where we were just a few minutes ago here at the northern end of the exchange of the Hardy Toll Road, where they're trying to get in place and see if they can locate the second of the 2 cows that are still, at least 2 cows that are still on the loose there. And so we're seeing that livestock unit start to move into position a little bit further north, still keeping the northbound lanes of the freeway shut down at this point as they're continuing to work this. Sky 13 getting into position to see what happens here next, guys.
Yeah, and I tell you something about these livestock guys. They understand what sort of the demeanor you need to have in order to take care of something like this. And your regular, nothing against all the other sheriff's deputies or all the police officers, but if you don't know what like I said before, we see these guys out there and they're running toward the cow to get it to stop. That's the opposite thing of what you need to do. And what you saw, what did we see with these guys when this cow was between that gap?
The calm,
slowly go through the process. You see this guy slowly making his way up there. If the cow is in a spot, and we can't tell because it's under the bridge, but if the cow is in a spot where it can't really make a decision to go left or right, and if you can calm it down enough, same thing can unfold here. Get a rope around it, lead it right to that trailer, let it join its buddy, and now you've got 2 problems solved. But you see how long it takes, right? Like this isn't something, you just tell the cow to, it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah, because I mean, you think, okay, hey, we approach the cow and they know to come.
Sure.
No, that's not.
No, these are animals after all. You know, I mean, they're domesticated cattle, but they're not domesticated to the point where you can just call them by their name and have them walk over. You know, like a puppy might. But cows just aren't going to do that. We can't. It's just because of where this is. We just can't see where this particular cow is. But it might be sort of the same situation. You know, there might be a double barricade there, or there might be something right up against the barricade. You know, that concrete barricade and some tree line, and it's just going to be okay. I'm fine here, and you get you know, these livestock officers out there again with the right demeanor and the right way of approaching these things, and just sort of calm them down and get them into the trailer. The cow doesn't want to be on the feeder road. Okay, the cow doesn't want to be running down the interstate. Absolutely, absolutely. So
and Jeff, just to jump in here real quick, just you talked about the possibility of the cow being up against the barrier there, and we've already seen twice already now those cows can jump that barrier with ease, and they can be out of that area and starting a whole other search in a matter of moments. And so, like you said, these livestock deputies are going to obviously take their time and make sure that they're able to get this cow into a situation where they're surrounding it and just keeping it calm and just trying to maneuver into the location that they need to be able to get this done without any kind of incident. And slowly they are starting to let some of that traffic through there on the left lanes, again, northbound of the North Freeway there at the Hardy Toll Road interchange, and again seeing traffic all the way back to Lowetta. Sky 13 staying on top there to see what the next move is for them in this situation.
Well, I think it might be a little bit telling, Doug, that they have allowed the traffic to come through there. Maybe that second cow now has gotten to a point where, and again, that was earlier. This is where we lost sight of the cow, I think, but
it is.
So this is video from Nick Notario.
I see.
From earlier.
Oh, you mentioned on this one you saw the door was open, right?
I did, yes. And so you see it here. So Nick Notario was there on scene, was able to get this video you're seeing. And yeah, so Jeff, we talked about this. The door was open and someone was trying to rope the cow in. And so we think this is the same cow that they tried to rope in that was running down the freeway, but now is in this wooded area. And so they're now trying to corral it back. So again, this video from Nick Notario, and I want to show you again a live view, left side, Houston TransStar cameras, 45 North at Lowetta, and then on the right is our view from Sky I-13. Doug, did you want to add something?
I was actually going to talk to Sky here for a second, if y'all can go ahead and...
Okay.
Doug, before we do that, before you go there, just let me ask you real quickly, do we know where Nick was when he shot that video?
It looks like Nick was basically in this, just a few hundred yards south of this location right there, because I believe we see the cow go under this bridge right here at the interchange here for the Hardy Toll Road, and it looked like that's where the officer was starting to push the cow off into the emergency lane, and then that's where we lost it up in the grass. And actually Tammy's doing exactly what I was about to ask her to do, just to see if we could widen out and see if any deputies were starting to look in the wooded area there just off, because you can tell there's residential back there, and that's going to start to draw some other concern if this cow gets into the residential area.
Right, and it looks like, as we mentioned, we saw the video just a moment ago of how easy these cows can jump over. It looks like if that cow were to jump over and keep going, on the feeder road, that's an entrance ramp to 45. So you could have the same problem all over again.
And obviously, Tammy, you can see there all those deputies on the left-hand side of your shot. I know you got to come around a little bit, but it looks like they're starting to walk up. Yeah, they're walking up into that area there, just off the ramp. That maybe the cow might be in somewhere, kind of corralled by just the sheer fact of the way the ramp is designed. Maybe in a situation where they may have it cornered there, so be looking for activity there off to your left side, Tammy.
Okay, so and this is the Hardy Toll Road, that overpass there, and so Doug, as Doug mentioned, I guess we can safely just assume, so this is just one specific area, so they should know where this cow is. Again, we've seen it, now been monitoring the situation a little bit over an hour as these cows, loose cattle on I-45, those lanes are still closed, and you're just seeing the wide view from Sky I-13. And Jeff, I keep going back to your experience. I mean, you said exactly how they needed to do it, and that exactly is what we saw just a few minutes ago with the one cow. So we know there's two more that still need to be caught.
And Brandon, I tell you, it's one thing to have a plan, and it's another thing to execute it. And having a plan out in the country where you got got fences and stuff. That's one thing. On the interstate, kudos to these guys, right? And gals, kudos to them. I was just wondering out loud if maybe we could get Nick on the phone. If he is there from from a couple hundred yards away, maybe he's now at that situation. Maybe he could give us an eyeball of what's going on there on the phone. If not, that's okay. Understand there's a lot of work going on in the traffic. It's a nightmare. Let's face it.
Yeah. So we've just been told traffic is now moving in that area, and it can send that view out. So with that, let's send it back up to Tammy Rose. Tammy,
what can you see?
What can you see?
Yeah, so we've just been trying to see exactly where those officers were going, and just by them letting the traffic back open, it would seem to me, and I'm not 100% positive, that they might have the cow contained here, where we saw that person that opened up the door and kind of ran up to the area. I'm thinking maybe just by the way they're all acting that they possibly have it contained, and then that trailer that left maybe trying to get to the area of where the cow is. That's just the only thing that I can kind of figure that might be happening right now, just by the demeanor where everybody, is kind of just, I don't know. We're still trying to confirm things, but again, this is northbound 45.
Oh, really?
A couple of lanes are back open.
Where?
This is where the area of where the Hardy Toll Road connects with 45.
Oh,
so
my
again,
God. Is it confirmed or what?
If you're just headed out the door to take that alternate
Send it to me.
route
Send it to me.
because,
Oh, my God.
traffic is
Okay.
still backed up. Meanwhile, we've got one cow that has been contained, and we don't know if that other cow that was just west of 45 near that water treatment plant, if that one has been contained, and just hopefully the second one that we saw here might be cornered in this wooded area. Back to you guys.
Yeah, and we had heard from a tip call initially. Again, now Brandon, we're going past an hour when that tip call came.
Yeah, that was 11:40.
Yeah, that there might have been as many as 8. Now, it's easy to get confused, if you're driving at highway speed and you see a bunch of cows. But we know for sure, as Tammy was saying, we know for 3 of them. We've seen video of all 3 of these, cows. So hopefully that's all we've got. But it does seem to me, just by given the demeanor of these guys, you see them kind of walking around a little bit, that
have an idea.
It probably, like Tammy had mentioned, it's probably in an area where, like that other cow, in between a couple of barricades or maybe between some trees or something, and just is content. And if they get the owner of the cows, and that it might have been the owner of the cows with that. No, actually, it wasn't. It was right. It was the Harris County Livestock Division. But when they continue up north, and they're at that location around there too. So I wonder where they're pre-positioning themselves. But but at any moment, a cow can come back and get back on there, and you're often having problems again. But they're doing the best they can to keep traffic away from these 400 or 500 pound animals that are unpredictable.
Yeah,
That's
so
right,
you want to give as much space as possible. And this wide view from Sky 13 kind of gives us that better view of the traffic situation. So again, as Tammy mentioned, if you have to go anywhere on 45 right now near Stubner, Louetta, this is what you're looking at northbound this spring.
Where's everybody at, by the way? How many people we got in here? 13. That's okay, 1,300. Is cows not on the list of priorities? Like if I was chilling, if I was walking about my day, if I was at work, and I get an ick and mail notification, and the shit starts with cows on the loose, cows on the run, cow chase, I'm clicking that shit. I'm clicking it. Are cows not important? Huh? Do they not matter, even though you eat them and cook them every day and season them and all that? Are they not important? No, the only thing you like is death and drama and, whatever, mutilations and stuff. What about cows? Serious incident. Cows running on the highway. People were crying and devastated about the cows. Where they at, man? Oh, spring break. I go back to gaming. Fuck this shit. I see cows on the what? Cows? I'm clicking it.
More in the area, that they're still on the loose, according to the Harris County Sheriff's Department, from what we were hearing on the radios, and confirmed that the folks there in dispatch were hearing the same thing. So the word out in the field is there are dozens more still out there that
dozens of what, cows?
Located and corralled at this point, and taken back and put into trailers or pens or whatever the situation is going to be. So we are continuing to monitor this back here, even though we're seeing, these deputies have kind of stood down from the situation that we've seen here right along the freeway. There still is apparently sightings that are out there of a large number of them still out in this area, and so law enforcement working through this area here to try to find these cows, and this could impact your traffic, even though you may not be experiencing that traffic situation now. If these cattle get anywhere close,
this live stream is moving.
Experience that pretty fast. As the situation is evolving here with its cattle all along the
look at the traffic
between Louetta and the Spring Stubner Hardy Toll Road area.
And so, Doug, that is a jump from what we first thought. We first thought 8 cows. Now you're hearing 30 that are possibly still on the loose?
Yes, again, hearing that on
30
the
cows?
radios and confirming with the dispatch there, just to let them know, we contacted them just to make sure that we were hearing that information correctly, that there could be as many as 30, 3 of them corralled at this point. Again, a very fluid situation. So if you're monitoring us on the app and you're on the freeway, if you're northbound, obviously you're sitting in that traffic. But if you're coming through that area southbound, you just need to be on the lookout. At any point, deputies could start to converge in an area and start to close it down if they start to spot more cattle there on the freeway. And obviously they're out just off of the freeways as well, not just on the main roadways, but they're also off in the side roads and in the fields there, trying to locate this cattle and get all the cattle back corralled.
Yeah, and Doug, I know you don't have the exact answer to this, but are we assuming, based on what you've been hearing, that these other 25 or 6 or 7 whatever cows are at least in an area where they wouldn't pose an immediate threat to jumping on the interstate, or do you just not know at this point?
There hasn't been a lot of radio chatter regarding spotting cattle along the freeway at this point, outside of the ones that we've seen here, and so that's why we're trying to get more information about which direction they may have taken off in. And obviously, as we've seen, they're very elusive. They can move quickly, and the place that they are in 1 minute, as soon as they see something that spooks them, they're going to be gone and out of that area anywhere in that vicinity in a quick moment.
Yeah, that's right. And you're going to getting that many animals corralled is now a whole other set of problems. The 2 that were presenting the most difficulty, the one we saw get corralled up and put in a trailer. The 3rd one, we are standing by to see if they are able to get that one stuck under a bridge or in some sort of enclosed area under a bridge. I think our Nick Otario is close to that.
Hardy Toll Road 45, where you see those.
And so, Jeff, let me ask you, what or whom would be carrying 30, is it like a transport or?
With the rodeo wrapping up.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't know that these cows have any association with the rodeo whatsoever. They might not, okay? I don't know. It's just me. Why would you have 30 cows in a trailer? Typically, that might be a rancher moving a herd from one location to another. Okay. Sometimes, like if a large-scale rancher has a farm that's got plenty of feed, like hay, grass, that kind of thing, you might bring your herd from one to another. And then there's the other side where there might have been a cattle auction, and these cattle might have been on their way to be processed. So I don't know. That's going to be part, and that's curious. Also, very curious as to know where. 3 cows. That's someone buying 2 or 3 cows, and it's not a big deal.
Yeah, right.
30. That's a large trailer. That's an 8.
That's a terrorist attack. So it's not like terrorism.
Of cows that
Look
you
at
would
the cow.
see, just going from one big place
That's
to
a
another
terrorist
big
attack.
place. And again, it could just be, maybe they're moving to another field. Maybe, maybe these were cows that were part of a breeding stock, and then they were on a breeding lot. Who knows?
Maybe they're carrying viruses and stuff. Maybe it's part of some type of virus spread. Look at the cow just chilling. Yeah, right there. Wow, he's running. We're about to go live on a different story. The original story I meant to cover, but this was just breaking. I had to stop and and break for this for a little bit because I saw this was happening now. I don't want to miss this. But I do have a story that we're going to go over, a sad story. We're going to go over it, though, and then after that, I'm probably going to do some gaming, a little bit of gaming. After that, try to finish off that game. But I definitely wanted to plug in some of the news that was going on today. Plug in some of the news that's going on. How you guys doing? I hope you guys are doing good. The highway's not moving. Free the meat. That's 30 to 45 minutes north of Houston. Rodeo. Mad cow disease. Welcome to Texas. Got the choppers, police choppers out there. I don't know where the most of them are. They said there's 30 of them on the loose, but that it was just a few on the highway. I don't know where the others are. Did they run off into the woods? Are they doing a massive search for the cows? Are they just going to let them go? What is going on, man? End of times. The end of times. Maybe somebody will find a cow. They could keep the cow for themselves, sell it, cook it, stock it, put it in the fridge. Massive search. Cows in the loose. My God. Cows. Creamsicles. Yeah, Dustin, I know. I was looking forward to the game. I am looking forward to that. I think we'll probably finish it today, I think. I don't know how much is left. I'm in the winter part of the game. But yeah, I want part 2. And maybe I should watch the show after I finish the game. I don't know. Then I'll be kind of caught up. Part 2's already been out, huh, for other consoles and stuff? Loose cattle.
Find the exact spot. It just says major accident. Cows and bulls loose on both north-south lanes, and that the freeway was stopped while units are attempting to get the cattle contained, and that just adding that a cow had been hit, the vehicle was overturned. If we could find out where that is, that might be a little bit more to report. But that's coming to us, as you mentioned, Brandon, directly from the sheriff's office. The amount of law enforcement now having to get out there and try to. Right now, you have an accident on top of everything else, and
now you're hoping
it's tough.
with the car overturned. Now you're thinking about the driver.
You got to get them to the ambulance. You got to get an ambulance out there, right? And even more chaos.
And then if the cow was hurt, you got to what goes into making sure the animals are now.
That's right.
Taken care of as well.
Right. Yeah, so this has been going on now for going on an hour and a half. And again, the updates that we've been getting. We started off with 3 cows on the run, and now we hear that.
Owl, thank you for this. For telling me about this.
That got loose.
Thank you for telling me about the loose cows. I wouldn't have known. I saw your message. Thank you for the super chat. Flying to Cali tomorrow. You are, Christina? Oh my God. How long of a ride is it for you? It's like 5 hours from me on flight.
Yeah, so the desk was talking about the accident was near the Hardy Toll Road in 45, and I have not been able to spot it there other than, the traffic being slow. I do see, officers.
I'm sorry, Tammy, is that where the bridge was, where the cow went under the bridge?
Yes, that's exactly where he was talking that it might be, and we couldn't see anything, but now, traffic again is moving. So we were kind of looking at a place where the HPD helicopter was just west of 45, and there was a bunch of ATVs. So I don't know if there's like a big group just west of 45, that's where the rest of them are, because I think I heard you guys say 30 cows.
That was I believe this talk from the sheriff's office that Doug was trying to get confirmed, possibly 30.
Yeah. And so, all we've been able to see from the air and what you guys saw was 3, definitely 3. And it looked like they had, 1 contained, possibly 2 near the Hardy Toll Road of where that other cow ran north of where the connector ramp is. And then all of a sudden they started reopening everything in that area. So that's why that's why I'm right now trying to look for the accident. You can see all the vehicles and. Yeah, so they have it closed. It looks like, well, there's several officers there, maybe not closed, but that's kind of where they're gathered here. And Doug is just telling me to go further north because I didn't see anything closed at where that one, there we go. wait, no, that's just construction. So yeah, we have a lot of people trying to assist us up here, you know, while looking for other traffic. But again, 45, just, you know, if you're headed out the door, stay away from 45 northbound, southbound, near the Hardy Toll Road. Because again, when we're hearing as many as 30 loose, this is going to take quite some time. Because right now, we think they may have a total of 3 that they've got tainted. Here's another trailer coming in. So I don't know, you know, if that's part of, you know, them getting the other one that was near this area in.
Right.
But, you know, the feeder road backed up as well. And again, they don't have it closed. So I'm looking for where that vehicle may have been overturned. If you guys spot something, please let me know. You know, there's a lot going on up here. And all I see is those officers, again, that's northbound on 45. Those are the main lanes that they kind of got, you know, not really blocked off because they're allowing traffic there. This is Interstate 45 and Cathedral Lakes Parkway. So this is going to be north of the Hardy Toll Road where that connector ramp is, where we saw that 3rd cow run into. And then I also saw a trailer on the feeder road and was thinking maybe that's how they contained that 3rd one. Because if you remember, the Harris County Livestock trailer left northbound.
That's
and we
right.
were thinking maybe they were going to come back around and get that 3rd one, but there was another trailer. And then
That
all of a
trailer
sudden they
just
opened
left, too.
everything back. Yeah, and so, you know, it's kind of hard to determine. Now, there is a lot of activity just west of 45 where HPD is concentrating on now, and there's a lot of ATVs out.
Yeah, it's so much, and it's
ATVs
scattered over such a large area too. It's difficult to necessarily narrow down exactly what's going on. But that is the HPD helicopter, I believe. Is that correct?
Yeah, so that's where HPD is concentrating on right now. And we saw a bunch of ATVs here on the side street. Again, this is just west of 45. So this is kind of where they're all concentrating on. So that perhaps is where they have the rest of them.
Right. Is that, Tammy, sorry to interrupt you, Tammy, but is that near that water treatment plant, or is this a completely different scene?
This is a completely different scene just north of the water treatment plant off of west
Cows
of
in the hood.
45 here.
I'm
So
told
the
it's
water
near
treatment
Exxon.
plant there to your left. Don't want to lose these guys because, again, I think possibly my pilot might have spotted something. But anyways, we're just kind of following HPD right now. Obviously, we have to keep an eye on them, making sure that we have a far enough distance between them. That's why I have to cut off so that I can talk to my pilot, because I am the second set of eyes up here. But yeah, so, you know, like you mentioned, this is where all the action seems to be. So maybe that is where they've got the rest of them corralled.
That's over by the ExxonMobil facility, the campus there. I believe that's right. I believe it is. Yeah. So anyway, we're going to bring in our Myra Moreno, Brandon Hamilton, who's been working since 3:30 this morning. We let him go, but Myra is just coming in. So Myra, thanks for joining us. You know, you've walked into the newsroom and you were probably like, "What is going on?" Right?
Exactly. Yeah, we've been watching, all of us, really from the newsroom. Such a tense situation, hoping that it would come to a good end here shortly. But this has been going on since a little after 11 o'clock today. So it doesn't seem like it's going to end anytime soon. So hopefully these law enforcement are able to corral these last few cattle that are out there. So 30 on the loose, we understand?
Well, we're trying to confirm that. They heard. So it's interesting. Myra came in as there's a cow on the freeway, and then it became, we saw 8 cows that got loose, and then as one had gotten corralled, put in a trailer, totally fine. They were working on a second one, and then all of a sudden we heard that maybe there were 30, and that
30 minutes on scene, 30.
It's been chaos really ever since then. You know, to think that one person now has struck a vehicle, has struck a cow,
Dolphin
and
donated
the vehicle is upside down.
$4.99 through Super Chat. Eat more chicken.
Cows lives matter.
Tears of joy grin.
I don't want to get some gaming headphones. These headphones are really nice, but they're like very flat. I want something where I can something that mimics surround sound type of thing. I don't know if I should, maybe I'll go to Best Buy and just get something. Best Buy, there was these headphones I was looking at. Best Buy actually has it. Arctis Pro Wireless. I don't like wireless things, but this one comes with 2 batteries. I want something where I can hear the shit where the things are coming from in the game.
And I'm with ABC photojournalist Chris Carr, who was sprinting down there trying to get video because these animals are not just moving at a slow pace some of them are on a full-out sprint going down the North Freeway. As you can imagine, they're probably terrified, and they're trying to move around this traffic. And I talked to one driver who works with horses, and he knows animals really well, and he said to me he could tell that the steer was not only scared, it was hurt.
Nice.
So, the animals are obviously, very scared about what's happening, not just drivers and law enforcement.
Yeah, we're going to game
very
tonight.
Chaotic. It's like they've got parts of 45 that were shut down. You could see the steers running down it. Now we're off 45, off the freeway, driving around because we're told that the steer are in the brush, in the trees out here along the frontage roads. So we're trying to drive around and see what we can see as far as wrangling up. As a matter of fact, we just pulled into this wholesale floor coverings right now where I can see you got law enforcement trying to, I think they've got one of the cows corralled here in the back. That we're pulling up now. But these are office spaces. Obviously, I see it now. They've got the bull or steer. You see it right there. They've got it wrangled right. I wish I had video.
They have one, Nick? You're seeing one?
Yeah, they've got one.
Okay.
Come on, Nick, take your phone out, record it.
It's like a storage
the other?
facility, and they're backing up right now the
trailer.
The thing that transports the trailer. Thank you, Jeff. And they've literally have it corralled behind this vehicle, and they're trying to get this steer back in. I'm going to walk outside as I'm going to watch it happen. I wish I could show you visually. I'm trying my best to describe it. I've been told to be quiet. They don't want to startle the steer.
Right. Now, Nick, your photographer, Mike, I believe you said it was. If he has a Dejero unit, if he could turn it on and tune in, that would be great. If I understand if he can't, there's a lot going on out there. But Nick, as you've been speaking to law enforcement, have you has anybody told you, or I mean, they may not be able to at this point, how this all started?
Yeah, where is he?
I don't know. I don't know exactly how this got started. And now the steer they're having a real hard time getting it back in the trailer. It's clearly, I can see some blood on the side of the steer. It's clearly injured. It's got blood on the side, its leg. It's obviously extremely startled, and they're trying to get this thing corralled. But they're also trying to prevent it from doing damage. I just saw reports that there was an accident along the North Freeway. There's a vehicle that's been turned over. I have not seen any of that, but I talked to drivers. They say that the steers came dangerously close to their vehicles as they were just trying to move by. They were terrified as these animals went running down the North Freeway, and now they're trying to get this thing in the trailer. They're struggling to get it in as we're watching it.
Well,
but this is just one.
Nick, not only are they scared, like you said, but they're strong. So that's no easy feat.
They're incredibly strong. No, and even though the animals are injured and clearly having a hard time, they are still very strong, trying their best to get away as they're trying to pull this thing in. It looks like now they've got it in. All right, good. So they have at least one of the steers here under control. I don't know how many. Been trying to get answers from the sheriff, but now there are all people out here just watching. Like I said, we're by offices just off of all in a day's work.
Right, you're just off the 45. Do you have a cross street? Tammy Rose is up.
Yeah, give me your location.
She's trying to get over your location. Do you have a cross street first she might be able to go to, Nick?
Spring Hills Drive, and let me see if I can get the cross street here on my phone.
Nick, was that the cow that went underneath the bridge where we lost you? The video that you were showing, the cow that was running up and went underneath the bridge, was that the one that they're getting hauled into this trailer now? Was that cow?
It could have been. By the way, we're at Spring Hill Drive and Cathedral Lakes Parkway.
Thank you.
Where we're at right now. Right at the Pro Source Wholesale is exactly where we're at right now. I don't know if that was, but we were told that they were on the southbound side. There's an Exxon facility right over there.
Yes.
We tried to go, but Exxon wouldn't let us on the property. It is private property. But law enforcement they had their DPS, had the helicopter looking in the woods over there. But no, it has been wild as these law enforcement members are trying to wrangle these deer. And thankfully, at least one of them now I just saw get loaded into the trailer, badly damaged, that steer, clearly in pain, startled, scared, all the above. But the person that wrangled them in was thankful that they were able to do so just now, and just said to instead of Chris Carr, all in a day's work
And
after
Nick,
they were able to successfully get it in the trailer.
That's where we see the trailer there, just under the skids of Tammy Lewis's Sky 13. I'm not sure if it's exactly where you are. When she zooms in again, I'll throw out the names of the businesses so you can tell us if she's really close to you. This is going to be a U-Haul container store, and it looks like, I can't read the other one,
It's hard to read. Nick, and the folks who wrangled up this loose cattle, this law enforcement that you saw?
No, it's not law enforcement, and it's unclear if these are the individuals that the cattle broke free from their trailer. Yeah, so I don't want to connect the dots because I don't know for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know if they were just brought in to help or if these were their steers.
Well, I tell you, Nick, when we were watching this unfold of Sky 13, you talk about people who are just pitching in to help. Nearly every driver that knew what they were doing was trying to do just that, right, Myra?
Exactly.
I mean, you had pickup trucks. So there's one of the trailers there. I don't know if that was where Nick is or not, but pickup trucks trying to corral these animals, trying to get them to stop. And once they start going, once they're in a panic mode, it's just very difficult for them to stop and to calm down. And it's hard. Again, these animals weigh a couple hundred pounds. Okay, this is video from one of the cows that was stuck in between the barricades, and this was going to be the Harris County Livestock division working with that cow there. And you saw what they did, Myra. They backed that trailer all the way up to where those barricades
Did you see it
were.
over there?
You're able to get it in. Nick, go ahead. I understand you've got maybe eyeballs on another cow.
Yeah. Well, let me tell us what you saw.
I just went out and saw the gentleman on the horse chasing the bull, and he ran in here, seemed scared, roped him up, took him a couple tries, and then he got him, and just kind of let him chill out for a minute, and then everybody pulled up, and it started getting startled again.
What was your reaction to witnessing all this?
Another day in Texas, another day in Houston, for real.
So that was one of the workers at this facility here. She just came out and said she had video, so she's sharing it with us right now. But I just wanted you to hear someone I didn't see it. We got the tail end of it being loaded on the trailer. But, the steer, they're trying to corral, and we're trying to drive around ourselves as they go around trying to collect all these steer. But, that you heard her say, just another day in Texas. That is something that we heard over and over from drivers as they were dealing with all this, only in Houston. What they were saying.
Right.
So, and I think, the Houston rodeo ended yesterday. So who knows where these.
The rodeo was
yesterday.
From. Emily said that, yeah.
But, I know a lot of people are probably leaving the ground today.
It might have been people trying to leave today. They said Texas had this big rodeo. And somehow, I don't know how these cows escaped. They said, believe 30-something cows. I don't know if they're all on the highway. They saw like 3 of them on the highway. I don't know where the rest are at. There was another location where this guy Nick is, and they got another one. So I don't know where most of the cows are, but it's believed to be about 30 on the loose. Oh, man. And there's people trying to catch them and throw themselves onto traffic and, throw themselves in front of the cow. Oh, man. Cow's taking off. There's a semi-truck. Let's see. Try to cut him off. Where you gonna go, cow? Oh, shit. Oh. Can't see. Oh. Nah. Make it say, oh.
That it's unable to come into contact with any more vehicles. We don't know. And then one was in a field. The last we saw, it was over by it was off of NRG Boulevard, I believe it was, or NRG. Let me see if I got it right. Energy Drive, excuse me. It was over by, off of the north side, off of 45, not too far from, I believe it was Rayford Sawdust at that point. We are going to have to go get refueled, I believe, in the helicopter, so we're going to have to continue to monitor what we've got here from the ground and any TransStar cameras. But Myra, this was, a full stop on the interstate for an extended period of time. We're going on, beyond the hour-and-a-half point now, where this is all continuing to go on, and at times both north and southbound lanes were closed, and we saw this particular cowboys who were following it with our transfer cameras jump over the other side. At all southbound lanes were closed.
Looking
the
confused.
feeder road, of course, yeah, the feeder road was there. So this is one of the trailers. We think this might be where Nick is, and he again saw a cow being loaded up. It might not be where Nick is, but clearly there's a trailer there, and there's two of them.
Yeah.
So we think that there's going to be at some point somewhere around there maybe some cattle, or maybe that might even be just a staging area. Hard to know. It's a very fluid thing, Myra. Right? It's not like you can tell exactly what's going to happen.
Exactly. You have no idea where they went off to. If
Right.
some of them stuck together, or one is headed a different direction. Not sure if you guys were able to report this just yet, but I'm going through our information here that our news desk is getting for us. But I understand this is within the last few minutes. There was an update on a traffic alert. The lanes have been reopened on I-45 northbound at the Hardy Toll Road. But they said, of course, there's still loose cattle out there. So if you're by this area, they say just be careful, take it slow, because again, there's still a few on the loose. And our producer just said something to us in our
I
ear.
believe that's part of the information you were reading from Harris County Sheriff Ed Gonzalez, saying 3 have been caught, and again, that was kind of our count as well. And then as many as 30 may still be running loose in the area. And then the northbound lanes have been reopened for traffic, at least a pair of them. All of this, according to Ed Gonzalez, Harris County Sheriff Ed Gonzalez, centering around the North Freeway near State Highway 99. Precinct 4 deputies are out there. Harris County Sheriff's deputies are out there. We also know that the Harris County Livestock Division from the Sheriff's Department is out there. It's a situation that they won't be able to walk away from until they're fairly certain that they've got all of them. I mean, you can't just say, well, we got 3. There might be some more. We'll see tomorrow. You can't do that. You don't, as you were saying, Myra, you don't know where these animals are going to end up next, where they're going to wander off to. And if they get onto the feeder road, it's a real. It becomes a real problem really quickly. And they've got the Harris County Sheriff's Department. I believe a horse from the Sheriff's Department could be. No, I mean, Kage Nonder doesn't look like a sheriff's deputy, does he?
Well,
it might be a volunteer.
Or it might be somebody that owns these trailers that own the cattle, and they're trying to go to specific areas to wrangle them up. I know we've been getting a lot of images and pictures from agencies.
Is that dog a bunny hunter?
Even civilians who are there and going outside of their business to just see what is going on. But there's a couple of pictures that we have here, and you can see some of these cows in a field behind what looks like a business. But this is a tough situation to deal with, and
you see how easily they jump over the side. It's just how easy that was for that cow to jump over. And
we
then
hope
the other
they don't
one
go back into the highway. That's the scary part.
Right. See, look how cool. Just clears it like it's nothing, and that's one of the reasons why they're going to just have to stay on this, because you cannot have those things. And look, running down,
fast.
This is where the guy the door was open. We think maybe he was trying to corral him, and at that point the entire interstate was closed down.
Yeah, but see, that's not easy to do. Even if you try to stop and corral it, it's going to keep running.
I think this might be video from the Sheriff's Department.
Images
from the Sheriff's Department where you can see the cows. That particular cow had gotten in back of a business, and that's probably the safest place for them to be right now. But being on the main lanes or even on the feeder road, that's where you're going to run into problems. And there you go. So that's one of the bulls is back in the back, not going to go anywhere. Hopefully back there, but you've got to get the right people out there in the right spot. And with all that traffic, getting these assets in place becomes a logistical nightmare at one point, right? And this was the remarkable one where this cow somehow made it between these 2 managed lanes, and they just walked it right into that trailer. That's the way to do it.
That's the perfect situation.
Don't give the cow any other option, just to go straight into the trailer. We watched that unfold live.
And naturally, these cattle and steer are going to go to grassy areas.
Of course, yeah.
If they're in that, if we've been showing what looks like a grassy area with a lot of trees and wooded area, I guess, if you will, they could be somewhere in there.
That's right. And Nick Notario was joining us on the phone from Spring Hill Drive near Cathedral Lakes Parkway. Mentioned also the campus of ExxonMobil. Tammy Rose flying in Sky Live. Now, she has seen near the campus of ExxonMobil, 1, the helicopter flying over there, and then 2, a large law enforcement presence behind ExxonMobil, which we can only assume is going to be, in connection with this. Now, is it 1? Is it 2? Is it all 30? It's just hard to tell at this point. And law enforcement's trying to get everybody together where they can give us a bit more of a idea of what's happening with these cows, but even that's going to be. So this one, I'm looking at a video. You guys watched that, but the video that we see has come into the newsroom. Hopefully we can get this on at one point. Guy on horseback, and the cow here was easier to corral because it was in a storage lot, fenced in, nowhere to go, and it was easier to try to keep it from getting off and out into where there was a problem. But this area here, this office complex, ExxonMobil.
There it is.
That's the video. This is the video I was just looking about. So he's got him lassoed, and then at that point it's just a matter of getting the cow to calm down and work with his horse, right, to get him that cow into a situation where he's just going to follow. And that one was, I believe, where Nick was. Is that correct?
And I'm sure their adrenaline is pretty high right now with everything going on.
Right.
You go from getting out of these trailers to the middle of a highway, so many vehicles and so many people trying to corral them. I'm sure their nerves are pretty high too.
For sure. And to think that if this were to have started, I was talking to Brandon about this. If this were to have started with a traffic accident involving a trailer full of cows. Now these cows have this trauma, and they're just going to get out and run it. So now that we see the trailer there, clearly they believe that there's some of these cows that are back there in that area. And then now the hard work starts of getting them corralled. And they have 2 trailers there.
Yeah,
so maybe this might be where the bulk of these cows are. I would hope that they wouldn't have to get them one by one. That would be a very chaotic kind of thing. But how do you lead them?
Best case scenario, they're together and you're able to, but that's difficult. 30 is a lot. You really have to wrangle one by one and try to get the trailer close by. So now this is our ground shot. Is this Nick Notario's shot, or is this another crew that we have out there in the field? So we believe this is Nick Notario's camera. We did have him on the phone earlier, and he was giving us a sort of play-by-play on a situation that he was seeing unfolding in front of him, where he saw what he believes possibly were law enforcement or the owners of the cattle that were wrangling in one of them and safely putting it into the trailer. But he did mention that particular cow seemed to be injured and possibly had some blood on its leg. So again, this is Nick Notario's camera shot, and his photographer trying to get a better picture for us as we see all of this unfolding. He also spoke to an eyewitness who works around that area and mentioned, oh my goodness, we saw what was going on. We came out, and Nick said, is this surprising to you? And she says, well, it's Texas. And we see cattle here all the time, right?
Sure.
And we just got done with the rodeo. So this is not a big surprise to us, but the fact that it is happening in this manner, and we heard of an injured one and somebody whose car flipped over, that is where it just really just starts to feel a little off, because it's a situation that can go wrong if it's not contained quickly.
Absolutely, and you understand simply because of that how important it is for law enforcement to do this job. And there you see
it's me. Oops.
Okay, and this
is,
and these are live images again, you guys.
2 cows.
On the left-hand side
no! Run! Get on the highway!
So
very dangerous.
Oh my goodness.
He's running in the middle of traffic.
Law enforcement now in moving lanes of traffic, running against the flow of traffic, trying to get these 2 cows that we just saw.
And our photographer running in the highway
doing
too.
An incredible job there. Mike Carr doing an incredible job keeping up with them. And these
cars need to just stop.
Yeah, if they could bring them to a complete stop, that would be good. But these cows can run for quite some time. Tammy we were watching the one that Nick Notario showed us that was going had gone a mile. Just from when we saw it to where that stopped a mile, and now you see all of these law enforcement officers on both sides of the interstate jumping over the barricade, stopping this traffic, and allowing our photographer, a little bit of grace too to get set up and put in the right spot. The more you get people around these cattle, and the more that they're spooked, the harder it is to try to bring some sense of calm and control.
Exactly.
That's why I was really amazed when we saw the Harris County Livestock Division getting that one cow into the trailer. They did it, we don't say the right way, but they did it in a way with it was very calming, right? And not running at the cow. But with the cows on the interstate, you kind of have to try to corral it the best you can. Now it looks like maybe they're trying to get it into that area underneath the bridge.
Do you still see 2, or was that just one?
I don't know if Tammy is still up, if Tammy might have to go to refuel. I think we see another cow on Tammy's camera too. This is a spread out area, right? This is one side of the interstate, the other side of the interstate. Nick's on the right hand side. The cow got picked up on the left. It's
a tense
chaos.
situation.
It's chaos, and it is tense. And here we go.
2.
These are 2 other cows.
Different ones.
These are different cows. These are the ones that were behind ExxonMobil. All right, so you've got a whole other
You got 2 on the highway,
group.
and then you have these 2 here.
Potentially 20 more somewhere else.
Oh my
It's
goodness.
tough. It's going to be a really messed up traffic day.
Scary.
Folks. 45. The best thing to do is try to avoid that at all costs. Honestly, I wouldn't take the Hardy either because they're up there near that area. Maybe 59 is your way to get up and maybe get to the Beltway and get up and around that way. But these guys, this is an incredibly difficult job that these law enforcement officers have to do just to try to get these two cows to go in the same direction.
Oh my goodness, yes.
And away from the barricade.
Look at that.
And you add in, and you know how easy they can jump that barricade. And there's traffic coming the other way at highway speed, and it's just going to be. This is a dangerous situation.
Can you imagine being a driver in one of these cars, not knowing what is going on? All of a sudden, you see a cow run past you, just like this.
Oh
my God!
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. You just can't.
Could have been bad.
Right.
She could have got taken out.
She's brave.
And
yes, she tried to stop that cow in front of her.
Not deterred for 1 second, and Mike.
Yeah, that's resilient. She's willing to. Oh, there we go. Go wrangle his ass. Oh shit. Here we go, baby.
Did he get him?
Oh shit! Ow!
Oh my goodness.
Motherfucker's about to get you're gonna get tackled. Oh.
Wow.
You really hurt doing that.
Close.
So now this one's going to be off and running, and that cow might not stop.
Oh, he fell. Did he get him? Oh no, I thought he fell.
It's just incredible how far
that shit took off, baby.
Cross over to the other side of the highway.
Scrambling and scraping for shit. I like that.
Oh.
He is freaking out, it seems.
For sure.
So it seemed like an average citizen who had a rope and tried to corral that cow.
Yep. Mike might
but
have to
it
go
ran
back
so
to his
fast.
Vehicle and get off the interstate at this point because that's going to be
Oh,
tough.
he's put it on the floor.
Hopefully the vehicle.
Do we have a TransStar camera shot showing that and the cow that's
there
on the
it
run?
is.
Oh,
there
he's taking off. Look at that.
Yeah, and
Wow.
close to, you see the door open, right? Right, picking up speed, Myra. I mean, the cow's not ready to stop at all.
No, and naturally it's going to get away when it sees people coming at it.
That's right. That's right. We're working on getting a jam cam shot of that, and if we could switch over to Tammy now, or whatever on 7.
Did we lose
might
Tammy?
get us a better view of what than we're looking at right here. So that was earlier. That was video from earlier. Those are two. We're pretty sure that one of those two, if not both of them, have been corralled. And we know that Nick was there when another one got corralled. But
well, this is a tense situation. I don't know about you guys, but I feel like I'm holding in my breath. We want to toss it back over to Tammy Rosensky at 13. Tammy, where are you, and what are you seeing at this hour?
Well, Myra, we are on our way back to Hobby Airport to get some fuel, but what I wanted to mention is the two that you were looking at that were traveling southbound on Energy Drive. That is the area where we first spotted the original cow that was brown. So these two were different black cows, and I don't know exactly the other shot you had on the ground because I can't see that from up here. But those, where those police officers were was kind of in the same area where we spotted that first cow. And as you saw, I think by our shot that they ran into the woods, and I'm not sure about what other picture you guys had up. But yeah, so we are quite a distance away now, heading southbound towards Hobby Airport for fuel.
And from your perspective, we all don't know if there were any more than just those two that were running down NRG Drive. If there were other two or three in the woods, it's just hard to tell.
Surely.
Well, yeah, so what I'm trying to tell you is the original one that we saw in the middle of the field was brown. So that was the very first cow that we spotted. We don't know if that's the one that they got corralled, where Nick Notario was, because there was another trailer where you saw the one in the median. That was the second one that we spotted. And then the third one that we spotted was near the Hardy Toll Road, northbound, that entered that wood. So these two this would make 4 then that we have spotted from the air, that hopefully they'll be able to corral or get those two. But again, it's in the same wooded area as that brown one was. So that's, kind of like a big space. They were running around in the field, and then as soon as they see anybody, they head straight for the woods.
And this is a dangerous, ongoing situation when you have cattle on the interstate, highway speed with these vehicles, these cows able to jump over the barricade at just a moment's notice. It is very tough. We know of one accident that has been confirmed because of this cattle on the interstate. That is a car that struck one of the cows and then flipped over. So a dangerous situation for every driver on the Gulf Freeway right now, up around State Highway 99. It's very difficult going here and slow going, trying to get these animals corralled.
It is. So Sheriff Ed Gonzalez, of course, is tweeting out that his agency is out there working to try to get this under control. I was going through his X account, and I noticed that somebody posted a vehicle. Look, Jeff, it looks like a vehicle video. I'm sorry.
Video from their vehicle of
About
three or
three of
four
them.
running down to. Okay, so there you go. And now you've got this image of a couple of more. Another cow that's being corralled and put away. That's good. That's what you want. This looks like it might be from behind the ExxonMobil
Is this
facility.
a live picture? This is live right
Nick,
now. Okay.
Is Nick on the phone, or can he hear us? Can he talk to us about where he is? He cannot. Okay. But so again, Nick saw one cow being put into a trailer, and now here's another one right beside it.
Yes, and so we were wondering if this is maybe one of the owners of these cattle, or
potentially a good Samaritan. A lot of cowboys in town.
You never know.
For the
I was
rodeo,
about
I'm
to
telling
say,
you.
yes.
Cowboys.
This is Texas, in fact.
Cowboy,
Did he
baby.
have that cattle already?
He did have it.
wrangled?
It looked like it was.
Okay.
He did have a rope on it, and if the cow stopped, maybe he's just waiting for things to calm down.
To calm down,
Yeah,
exactly. Because again, their adrenaline, I'm sure, is extremely high right now, and you don't want to try to pull it in when it's feeling that way. You want to try to make sure that it's at least calm, so that you can get it safely back into the trailer, that is a tough part. But we have so many cows on the loose here in the Houston area, which we never thought we would start our Monday like this.
Never
Jeff.
in a million years would I think that we would have 30, I mean, one or
That's
two
a lot.
maybe, but 30 cows, according to Sheriff Ed Gonzalez, that potentially could be out there. At this
30
point,
cows.
you could think, by my count, unofficially, maybe 4
Island
have
Thrift
been
donated $9.99.
Island, thank you.
4 in
East Coaster turned vegan and let them free.
and the poor driver, whatever happened with that, and how this all began, we don't know. Whatever happened, at the beginning of this, it started at 11:40, but we got a call.
East Coast miss all the good stuff.
As many as 8 cows on the interstate. It boggles the mind. And we know that, again, Nick Notario and his photographer, we just saw, a cow coming right at you.
Yeah.
Live on TV.
Let's save that.
On Highway 45.
Screenshot it.
And that's dangerous within itself, These are powerful, strong animals.
All right, so we're going to continue to monitor this for you and let you know what's going on with this. If you're just joining us and you are wondering what's happening on the North Freeway, it's just going to be a very slow commute because there's so many of these cows that are either on the road or near enough to the road where they can get back on the road at any point. And these videos that are coming in, we saw one from where the cow was being wrangled from behind a storage unit. Very labor intensive, very manpower intensive on this kind of thing.
Is, Jeff.
And one by one, they're going to have to get them. If they can get them in a fenced-in area, that would be great. But how many fenced-in areas are there going to be? On the North Freeway,
it's an
getting
open
close
area.
to the airport. Not a lot, right?
It's an open area. You see a lot of businesses as well, and a lot of people on the road. So video you're looking at, this is from earlier today. These are not live images right now.
That's right.
Our sky eye has been above for a couple of hours now, and here we thought this would be over within an hour, but we're going on,
getting close to 2 hours now.
Almost 3 hours?
Yeah, well, it started at 11:45, so
Gotcha.
2 hours. And then one of the things that Tammy was saying when she was in the Phoenix area several years ago, flying for Phoenix television station, that there were a group of llamas that got out. Right, so she was saying that situation, I think it might have been 3 or 4, took 2 hours, 2 or 3 hours to get.
And that's just 4. This
right,
is
and this
30.
could be 30. And so Tammy, she was mentioning that during that time when they were chasing the llamas, that they'd say they had to go back and refuel, and that's what she's doing now. We'll get back to Tammy as soon as she's able to refuel and get back in the air and come back out there and show us the very latest on the ground. But again, a dangerous situation for the drivers in the city of Houston on 45, and it's certainly dangerous.
They were prob on their way to Dallas, BC. Our rodeo starts soon. Horned cattle are very dangerous. Cowboy hat face.
Yeehaw! Cattle on the loose.
Maybe a couple more hours.
Potentially, yeah, potentially. It just depends on if they can get them. Like that one that we saw, the video. This is a live image right now of one of the cows. Looks like it's got a rope on it. It's not going to go anywhere. That's the one from that cow that the guy was on horseback.
The guy on horseback?
And they're bringing the trailers up to try to get it.
Perfect. Cathedral Lakes Parkway. This is the area where they were able to get this one cow.
This will be the second cow that was picked up from that area. Nick was live talking to us when the first one in that area got picked up.
That one.
So maybe that might be up to 4 or 5 now.
Do we know, guys? Do we know how many have been placed in trailers already? We have 3 here under our graphic, but okay, for sure we know 3. We're still waiting to see how many more they're able to catch.
And I was just when we saw this process play out on the interstate where the cow was between the two, and you saw the video
Haley's
a little while ago
Comet
between the two
donated
barricades.
$5
It was
through Super
fairly
Chat.
easy to
Just
do.
some
Now look,
bulls
now this
looking for love. Let
left
him
so
be
from an open field
him get
and
some.
a horse to getting it on a
Okay,
trailer
Haley.
is no easy feat. That cow is
Leslie.
agitated. That cow does not want to follow commands. That cow is given those guys everything they can handle. And our photographer, very brave to approach as much as he can. But you see that just because there's an open door doesn't mean the cow's going to walk into it. The cow's going to have to be positioned to see it, and then
Basically just
wait.
almost pushed in,
almost
right?
pushing it in. Have they got it in there?
It looks like they did.
They got him.
Oh,
They got him.
Let's see. Hold on. No, maybe
Wait.
the door's open. Hold on. Not
No,
yet.
no, it's a
Not
travesty.
yet. So he's going to swing that gate around. No, they don't have him yet.
Oh, no,
They're going to
no,
get
no,
him close
no.
as they can
Oh
to
my
the
God.
door.
Oh no!
Oh, okay.
Okay,
It's
and they
fighting
back him
back.
in. Like you said, they almost have to push him in,
You
right,
do.
Mark?
That's
Yeah, you
abuse.
do.
There he goes.
It's racist.
Gave him
Is it
the only
finally
option
in?
they gave him was to get him in the
Oh,
in the
okay.
pen. And
Oh,
I'm not
boy.
surprised that it immediately collapsed, falling there
tired,
it's
I'm sure.
unbelievably tired.
And then
They
we
drugged
don't
him.
know how many are injured or what
That's
happened
right.
along the way.
Is he
as they were
alive?
Running down the highway and into
Great job there.
a grassy field.
And we know Nick was saying the first one he saw
Wow.
put away into a trailer definitely did show
Was
signs of
injured.
injuries. So you add that into the mix of all of this, and it's very, very difficult to do. Great job for these guys. But how
Oh, my
long did that
goodness.
take, right? How much labor did that cost them to get that in there? And that scene might have to be repeated over and over and over again throughout the afternoon, and maybe this might start impacting the commute home as well.
What do you think? That was about 20 minutes
Yeah,
or so since we
easily.
first saw that guy jump on horseback and try
Yeah.
to find it and then get the
He's
trailer
tender
to back
now.
up.
Hey,
and
Debbie.
Right, you've got to
Basically push it in.
follow the
Tender
cow,
meat.
rope the cow. You've got to get the trailer moved to the right spot. You've got the horses doing his thing.
Okay,
And maybe
so-
I don't know if we can.
Hey, Hillside Rodeo. I don't blame him.
He was going to, or unless they were
Maybe
going
he was.
to
Maybe
some
that was it.
rodeo
Yeah, maybe he was
festival.
going to a festival.
You know,
maybe
even
so.
though we
He's
have the Houston
promoting it.
rodeo here, there's plenty of rodeos
That's
throughout all these counties.
They
that
switched the
happen
camera quick.
throughout the year.
Once they realized it's a promo?
Maybe they were not part of the Houston rodeo. Maybe they were headed out to another one or finishing up at the rodeo, going to a different one just outside of our county. And this is video from earlier of that particular cow where you can see one deputy trying to stop it the best way he knows how.
And it
But I
just-
feel like this just spooked him a little bit more.
For sure, yeah. And this was another image from
boy.
the sheriff's office, I believe. Yeah, this is from Mark Herman's
Herman's office.
Harris County Precinct Constable 4. The cow is in the
is.
back of it. And eventually you'll go back that they'll have a clearer shot on this slide of that. There it is right there. A very clear shot of that cow. I don't know if that one's been picked up yet or not, but
Jeff,
that is
I
a
don't
big-
know about you, but as a Houstonian, I can't remember ever seeing anything this chaotic. We've had spools on the
Yeah,
highway.
yeah.
We've had, cows within the rodeo, but
a horse now and
horses,
then, right?
but 30 cattle.
No, I was talking to Tammy too about that. If she had recalled anything like that, and that's why she brought up the llamas. And
llamas.
she hadn't seen anything since the llamas. Well, she's got a whole nother story to tell now, as we all do, trying to make sure that they get these cows put into trailers and then back off to where they need to go. There are at least two that were running down NRG Drive behind the Exxon Mobil facility. This is another one.
This is the one that just went into the trailer.
This is a different one. This is a different one. This is behind the storage shed.
It's the same man.
Same man, but
a different one?
Different cow, for sure. Yeah, this one was, you see the fences around this one? The other one, there was no fences
was in
around
the
it.
field, yeah.
So this one got put in. That might have been the one where Nick was, because Nick had mentioned he was by a storage facility. But these videos coming into us from viewers, that was from viewer
Wow, that's
Valeria
intense.
Cornelio. We appreciate that you letting us show these images. And the other images that we've seen with them, just the three that you saw running down. Somebody
has video
out
of
the
three of
door.
them together running down the highway. If you guys have video pictures, please send them to us the best way, usually through our social media. And with your permission, we will be able to show it here as we continue our 24/7 live stream of a very tense situation on a Monday afternoon. Can't say that this is something that we were going to encounter today.
No, and as Sheriff Ed Gonzalez had mentioned, that three were accounted for, and as many as 25 or 27 more were still out there. And hopefully they've been able, like you've seen these last two get corralled in an area off of the interstate. As far as we know, do we know that the interstate has reopened? And as far as 2 lanes have reopened, that's going to be 45 outbound or inbound. I think I saw that earlier. Sorry, I have to check on that as well. But,
we're trying to go through information here.
$5 through Super Chat.
Hey.
Rich ranchers out here have llamas and zebras with their longhorns.
Damn.
Another day in Texas for a smell cold sweat smile grew up with weekly cow escapes in my hood.
Amazing. Rich ranchers out here, llamas and zebras. Holy moly. Wow.
Going forward, but you can't take that chance. So the law enforcement's still out there, and will probably not stop until every single one of those cows are accounted for.
Yeah, which is going to take a pretty long time, I'm sure. Probably well into the afternoon, hopefully before it starts to get dark out there.
Right, that would be a whole other
that would be
problem,
difficult.
wouldn't it?
Exactly. So I'm just going through some information to see if there's anything that we haven't reported just yet. We do know that authorities are trying to stage an area to try to give us a little bit more information. That way we possibly can find out how this happened to begin with, because that's still up in the air as far as how this all got started in the first place. I know there was a theory maybe they were hit, the trailer opened up, but again, we just don't know the specifics of it. We don't know the factual information just yet. But we are making calls and we are working here trying to get all those details and see just how many have been caught. We do know 3. It seems like possibly 2 more, so maybe 5, but that's not confirmed just yet. But there's still as many as 30 out there.
Yeah, and at one point when one of those cows was running northbound on 45 main lanes, it ran for a good mile before it finally, I don't want to say pulled over, but stopped, if you will.
They tried, yeah.
They tried to get it over. And we know that our Nick Notario is in that area, along with photographer Mike Carr, and they're working really hard to get as many images as they can for us. And of course, all right, there you go. One down, right? What's it say? From the sheriff, it says that responded by law enforcement North Freeway, Highway 99, Precinct 4 deputies also assisting loose cattle. Main lanes, 3 were caught, but as many as 30. That was from the sheriff's earlier.
35 minutes ago, it says.
Yeah, about half an hour ago. Yeah, right. So again, the north, they're opening up the traffic lanes, and that's to me that's a good sign that maybe they know it.
All right, I think we should move on to the next story that I want to cover, and then we'll follow up later with the cows. There's this story about a girl that is missing, or was maybe, because I was preparing for the story and I have the links and everything ready to go, and now I'm hearing word that a body was found. So we're gonna cover that story for a bit, just to plug it in. I was really plugging it in because the girl was missing, but now we're gonna have to look into it. They're saying she was found, her body was found, so that's not good. So I'm gonna transfer you guys over, okay, and we'll talk about that. I'm gonna drop the link in the chat too, in case the transfer. You guys like the cows? Oh my god. We want the cows. We want the cows. But yeah, so a body was found. That's the link. The father was charged with abduction.